now boarding flight SAC 926 at gate 67.
I don't know what my passport is.
Charcuterie, come back here. What did I say about touching
Wait,
people?
where's my boarding pass?
Oh my god, this isn't my suitcase.
Sweet cheeks, come here. Help Mummy record her podcast.
Hi, and welcome to Holiday Talk. My name is Charlie, and today I'm here with Mia and Sarah.
Today, we are going to be talking about exciting, chaotic, and exhilarating holidays we have been on, some of which may have left some scars.
Right now, it's 10 p.m. and we are on a flight to the Bahamas.
I can't wait to get all tan and get all sun-kissed.
You wish you could afford that.
I'm manifesting it, trust. But for now, I'll daydream about it from the St. Aloysius College podcasting studio.
Snap out of it. You're not helping your delusion, Sarah. Lock in.
Alright, jeez. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing lots of things, including accommodation,
Activities and attractions, and the mouth-watering food.
But first, we're going to be chatting about the travel and journey. Mia, tell me a story of your first memory on going on a plane.
I've been on lots of trips, but the first flight I actually remember was coming home from Hawaii when I was 5.
What was it like?
We boarded super early and I was absolutely starving. I went to my mum and said, "Can we order breakfast?" Then the flight attendant dropped breakfast on my tray and my heart just sank. It was this cold, watery, somehow stale sludge of oatmeal with 3 rock-hard raisins floating on top.
Sounds delicious.
I tried forcing a mouthful down without gagging, but my stomach was not having it. My dad noticed my face drop and turned pale and quickly reached for the crusty paper vomit bag in the seat pocket in front of me, but he was way too late. Total disaster of a morning, but definitely a core memory.
Sounds like a disaster. Sarah, you recently went to China with school. What was one moment from the flight that really stands out to you?
It was truly hilarious. Our first flight lasted for around 7 hours. Every row was split into 3 seats on the left and right side, and then 4 in the middle.
So, where did you sit? Please tell me it wasn't where I thought it was.
We sat on the right side of the plane, near the toilets.
The best seat on the plane.
Without failure, I was paired next to my friends Ivy and Kiara. We first watched The Conjuring. Now, it's very important to note that I'm terribly afraid of horror movies, so every jump scare you would see, my entire body flinch and jump up. Then we took a break, stood up, and Ivy led us through a range of exercises, such as scoop the chicken and lunges through the aisles. This continued for 20 minutes, until we would make our way to the kitchen and order ginger ales, with sparkling water and a slice of lemon on the side. Our go-to. Midway through the night, someone who I won't dob out went to the toilet. Let's just say, it wasn't pleasant, but there was a long line waiting at the door. It was concluded that this person might have forgotten to flush the toilet, and one of our teachers walked in right afterwards. But you would not believe it. In the line, there was a flight attendant, her hand holding something unbelievable.
Oh no, what was it? A vomit bag?
An air refreshener. Best believe we were cackling at 1 a.m. on the plane. When we arrived back in our seats, we decided to take photos. So as any normal person would, we turned on the flash and spam photos until we got told off.
Sounds like a treat. Mia, you went to Darwin recently and stayed in a motorhome for a week. I mean, I could never, but what was your first impression of the space?
So it was actually my first time being in a motorhome. I was absolutely thrilled, and my brother and I thought it was the best experience ever. We came out of the lobby of the hire location, and there it was, bigger than a minivan, white with teal stripes, and a humongous driver's cab with enough room to sleep in. We were especially astounded by the handle on the door. It was made of glass and lit up at night. I know. What? As we walked in the door and began exploring, my mum complained, "We won't have enough space to breathe in here." She was partly right though. Even though we were so excited at first to be driving around in our house, the motorhome certainly had its flaws, to say the least.
Which was?
From the rock-hard beds we had to deal with, to broken fridges, which led to melted ice cream and hot salad sticks. Put simply, our basic hotel room later in the trip seems like a luxury.
A luxury? It sounds like you're being nice. Sarah, if you could tell us just one story about your accommodation in China, which would you choose? Set the scene for us.
It was the first night of staying in the hotel. Kiara and I were sharing a room, and we got bored one night during our free time, so we thought, why not make some new friends? Zoe and Taylor, both year 11s, were down the corridor on the same level as us. So naturally, we went into their room and struck up a conversation. One thing led to another, and before we knew it, there was 11 girls squashed up in one room. Nothing could go wrong, right?
That's what they all say.
Time passed by quickly, conversations flowing out of us like a river. Before we knew it, it was 12 a.m, so we all had to run back quickly. We opened the door. It was dark, quiet, eerie, a long hallway. We sprinted back to our dorms, giggling and laughing. Some other girls' rooms were on another floor, so they made their way down. As they were going down to their floor, the elevator stopped. A figure, unknown, a man, standing there. It was petrifying. The next morning went as you would assume. Lots of people left noise complaints. Then came the implementation of our 8 p.m. curfew for the rest of the trip and the "we are heavily disappointed" chat.
I mean, 12 a.m? I'm in bed by then. I don't get it how you do that. Sarah, out of all the holidays you've been on, which had the most memorable activity?
I'm a massive shopaholic. Nothing special.
Aren't we all?
There was this one moment which stood out to me the most. My dad and I were strolling through Uniqlo in Hong Kong. If you've never been, it's a massive store filled with clothes. We were in the men's section, admiring each piece of clothing. Something caught my dad's eye though. A pair of pants, conveniently worn by the mannequin.
I can sense something coming.
My dad reached out his arm, tugging slightly at the fabric, and then whoosh, the pants flew off. It was so shocking I bursted into laughter, volume cranked up to the max. Pairs of eyes darted towards me, and we tried running away, but of course I ran into a stand full of clothes and knocked everything off. Piles upon piles scattered across the floor. But don't worry, I picked it up.
Sarah, that's the least of my worries.
We continued laughing for a good 10 minutes, and then 2 women walked past, whipped out their phones and started taking photos of the mannequin, though I do have to admit I was quite jealous of his hourglass figure.
From shopaholics to people whipping out their phones at clothes on the floor, that's one story. What about you, Mia? What holiday had the most memorable activity for you?
My second trip to Tokyo Disneyland was easily my favourite, mostly because I went with my cousins who were 3 and 5. The highlight was definitely Splash Mountain with my brother, cousin and auntie. I was secretly dreading it since my auntie warned me I'd get soaked. We piled into the front of the log boat ride. My tiny cousin was sitting right in front of me, barely tall enough to see over the edge. Right before the big drop, my cousin turned to me and said, "I hope we get soaked," while my cousin cheekily said the same thing to my auntie. We plunged down the dark, steep drop, and cold water blasted straight into my face. After stepping off, we came to the realization that while my auntie blocked the way from my brother, it completely overshot my cousin's head and I copped the entire splash.
That sounded like a rookie error. I mean, sitting behind the shortest person there. I wish I was there. 21st birthday video right there. Now, Sarah, I heard that overseas food is always a treat. Can you share your most favourite dish you had while visiting?
Overseas places always have the most exotic foods, rich, vibrant and full of flavour. My favourite? Actually, I have 2. Soup dumplings or all-you-can-eat buffets. My 2025 Hong Kong trip was the perfect representation of that. In the span of 1 month, we managed to eat at least 5 all-you-can-eat hot pot buffets and 2 vegetarian ones, because my grandma is vegetarian.
Ooh.
Best believe I did not touch a single bit of the fake meat. I was quite sceptical of the contents inside. It was quite mushy. Although on the other hand, soup dumplings have the power to warm the soul, especially when dipped in vinegar.
When I went to Vietnam in the middle of this year, at every breakfast, they'd always have dragon fruit. Let's just say they had to make sure they had enough for the week I was there.
Valid.
What about you, Mia? What was one food you had that nothing could compare to?
I really enjoy food and eating, so I can specifically remember the best foods I've had. I think the biggest standout is from the breakfast buffet at a resort I went to in Bali.
I'm low-key scared of Bali.
Across the week I stayed there, I decided to do themed breakfasts, I guess you could call it. One day pastries, another day noodles and soups. The best food I ate there was the mee goreng noodles. The explosion of flavours in my mouth was something I had never experienced before. I mean, I couldn't taste much after completely burning my mouth from the first bite, yet it is still the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. I vividly remember my mum telling my brother, "You cannot just eat chocolate croissants for every breakfast." Honestly, I don't think I've had better food since that trip.
My brother did the same. At least 6 sweet treats in the morning and then ice cream at dinner. I guess all he had to do was look at the staff by the end. So, best to say that we've all had at least 2 holidays that have not gone to plan. Whether it's Uniqlo pants falling off mannequins or staying in a motorhome while on holiday. But as much as we want to keep telling stories, unfortunately that's all the time we have today.
If you would like to hear more episodes from St. Aloysius College, you can check them out at our own podcast page. The link is in the show notes for this episode.
This podcast was produced by Charlie, Mia and Sarah from St. Aloysius College, Adelaide with ArchD Radio and Podcasting.
Wait guys, where's the plane?
Did we just get airballed by the airport?
Charcuterie! Where'd you go? Don't tell me you're picking your nose.
Thanks for listening, and make sure you're subscribed to this channel to hear heaps of other school life stories. Bye!
Bye.
Charcuterie! Come back!